Since my last video, we finally received the new beta update for Annihilus that we've all been waiting for. We got a complete ladder reset to test all the new changes and the balance. I've now played this patch for quite some time, and I gotta say, I love this even more than I did before. Let's talk a little bit about what the recent patch was all about. The patch notes were quite large, with almost 45,000 characters, and came with some game-changing things that I'll quickly go through. We got the new runeword system that I mentioned in my last video. So it's quite simple, really. On a fresh character, you know no runewords at all, because these have to be found and learned via something called runeword patterns. You can either purchase a select few runeword patterns from vendors, or you find them while slaying monsters. There are some patterns that are farmable via map bosses or actual endgame bosses too. When you want to apply a runeword to an item, you do it here via the enchanting tome. You can then choose a base, which could be any rarity, select a runeword and just enchant. It'll consume the required runes and then add said stats onto an item with no socket cost, which means the sockets are completely open and free to use other socketables in, such as jewels or other runes really. Another big feature is the new workbench. If you're familiar with the workbench in Path of Exile, this is about the same. You can add an affix to an item that has either an open prefix or suffix. This helps you along the way in kind of fixing an item with a moderately good stat of your choice. You can also see required materials and if you have them available on your character or in your stash. We now have a cast bar, which works as you would expect a cast bar to work. It's not just a cheesy built-in macro, but a fully fledged cast bar. You'll see cooldowns here, and you can freely select skills on the different slots. There's quite a lot of other new systems featured in this patch, and you can get more info via either watching my previous video, or through reading the patch notes, which will be linked down in the description. Now onto the actual gameplay perspective. So far I have two 90+ characters and two above 80. I started out with a Rend Bleed Barbarian, which is my go-to, and is what you see in the background. It got quite a big buff this patch and made me really want to play it again. All I can say is that it didn't disappoint me at all, and I really had a good time playing the Barbarian, but now he's fully converted to a support Barbarian, which doesn't deal any damage at all, but is a cheesy way of giving allies a lot of damage. Just to showcase quickly the extent of what you can do with your characters in Annihilus, I'll go through both my support Barbarian build and my procced-in Paladin build. On my Barbarian, I've built completely around this one item, the Peasant Crown. This has a line that says, you and nearby allies gain increased elemental damage equal to 10% of your vitality, which is basically the only thing that I scale here. In all of my sockets, I put either pull runes, which give 3% to all attributes, or IO runes, which give 15 flat vitality. With the gear I currently have, I've reached 1665 vitality. This equates to 166% increased elemental damage to all my allies. The Barbarian, of course, also comes with War Cries, which further buffs my allies. Now onto the Paladin. You will see some kind of a pattern here. My build is completely built around my weapon, Bing Shi Wang, which has a line that says, has a chance to cast level X Frozen Orb on melee attacks equal to 10% of your strength. And as you can see, I'm just above 1000 strength, which means that each hit guarantees a Frozen Orb. My other gear is very complementary to this entire shtick, and increases elemental damage based on strength or other bonuses. I also use Zeal for proccing, as it's the fastest attacking skill on the Paladin, but it works really well with this node on the soul grid called Chain Reaction. Because Zeal is a magic skill, using it amplifies all other damage types, including my cold damage, which is what I scale. My characters are far from being the best on the server, but Annihilus has anything but lack of character customization and build variation. That's what I wanted to showcase here. This was a shorter video than my previous ones. However, if you want to see more Annihilus content, feel free to comment it down below. I have a lot of ideas written down, but I also want to hear what you guys want to see. If you really liked the video, Comment down below, give it a like, subscribe, and all that jazz. I sometimes stream on Twitch here and there. Feel free to follow me there too. And also feel free to join the Discord for the Annihilus server. Greatly appreciated. We love having you here, and until next time.